But Mr. Bob Wayne,
You'll all be deposed for the age discrimination, sir.
Jim's got a list. Jim's got a piece of paper with all the slides, so he's going to pretend like he knows what's going on, but it's actually cheating. Okay.
And now Dan has one as well. All right, we have the two co-publishers of DC Comics, Mr. Dan DiDio and Mr. Jim Lee. And invisible to the entire process, on the keyboard, Adam Phillips. You've seen our fine preview section in the Diamond catalog. That's all Adam, all the time. So there you go. You see his work. You found his errors and typos. He's a big fan. All right, let's see what we have as far as our images there. DC Nation. So what can you guys, DC Nation, it's been on for a little while now on the Saturday morning on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, has anybody watched DC Nation? Anybody seen the first two? How are you liking it? What are you thinking? Okay, what are you thinking? Okay, and which one of the shorts did you like the best so far? Which ones? Animal Man, really? Okay, which one? You know what? You had to see the first day that broke on the first show. I'm at home watching it, and there's an email chain going through the whole company explaining boxing arrows. And the only thing is I missed that particular segment, so I didn't know what was going on. I had to find out the next day at work that everybody was commenting about to see whether or not a boxing arrow actually worked or not. So
it looked completely fake, though, by the way. Just so you saw it, they shoot the boxing arrow, it was like this, and then they cut to the target, and the boxing arrow slams into it.
They had a stunt boxing arrow.
Exactly.
But it is strange when you just first dip into your email on the weekend and you find that the president of the company is like, I'm going to make a boxing arrow this weekend. Like, I got to read the start of this thread.
But for us, it's really exciting to see that block, especially with being branded as DC Nation. That's big for us because with all the cartoons that's ever gone out there, all the work that's ever done with our characters, it's never been branded as with the company name in that fashion. So to see something called DC Nation, see representation of Green Lanterns and all the other characters that most people would just be, we all know as fans, but the general public might not know because they're only a small portion of our story base. It's fun to see that. To hear people cheering Animal Man, I think that's what really makes something like DC Nation really great. Guess what up? A new website? Jeff, you take that.
Oh no, we've unveiled a new website. We just went live, I want to say a week ago. Has it been a week at least? At least, yeah. And so, yeah, we want to do something that really defines the imprints, obviously showcase the new logo. You guys have seen it mostly, I think, as a static image, but what's really cool about the logo is actually very multifunctional. And so, as it goes out into animation or film or video games, you'll see that peel, or what we call the peel, kind of being used to kind of reveal things on the C part of it, and art being in there, and there being some animation and motion. And it actually looks really cool when it's animated. And we just wanted something that really showcased the different imprints. Obviously DC Comics, the actual company's now DC Entertainment, and DC Comics is the imprint, the flavor of the stuff that we produce through the DC Universe, and obviously with Vertigo, and Mad Magazine.
Have anybody navigated the website yet at all? You, sir. What do you think of it?
Yeah, so it's much crisper. It really highlights the specific franchises, like the main characters. It also has a way for people to really interact with the things they're reading. So you'll see Facebook and Twitter feeds being highlighted on the page. And we really feel that it streamlines the process, and it also serves as the sort of the gathering point of everything that's DC Entertainment related. So in the past, we really focused just on the print comics, and DC Entertainment is really about all the different interpretations of the characters and the adaptations through different media. And we wanted to aggregate all that on the new site and really give as much attention to DC Nation cartoons, the things that we're doing in New 52
Although speaking of New 52, we have our Free Comic Day issue coming up that features the New 52.
That's a beautiful cover.
That is indeed a beautiful cover. Who's got the gun on here?
What?
Who's the character with the gun?
I have no idea. No, it's Pandora. So she's a new character. I think they revealed a little bit more of her in Justice League #6. She's the mysterious woman that showed up in every single one of the first issues of the New 52. And she's got a pretty unique backstory that also ties into. I don't know if I should be this way.
Yeah, let's give everything away.
Yeah,
Can we give things away this week?
Not that many people here. And serious radio.
You're with me, that's right.
David Hyde, VP of Publicity, you're okay with that?
Okay, but publicity's got its ears covered. That's working now. Okay, so remember, put the camera lenses back on. Give it away, because I'm gonna give more away after you're done.
No, it's just go. No, that's not. I have to deal with Jeff Johns every day in the book. I'm not going there. No, but you know what? She has a really interesting backstory that ties into other established characters of DCU. I think the coolest new characters are the ones that actually give you insight into things that you thought you knew or things that have already been established. And Pandora certainly plays into that. And she's a very cosmic type of character, but at the same time, she's got these sort of mystical guns. And so to me, I think she's got a really cool visual, and you can see what she wants with the Justice League. And in fact, if you read Free Comic Book Day, it actually sets up things that you'll see in the next year, that start events that set up the next year that we're going to build up to. So this is not just an amalgam of different teasers and promotional items for the next wave of New 52. It's actually the starting point for some really kick-ass stuff that you're going to see in the following year. So it's a must-have comic.
And
luckily it's free.
And that's it. And I was just saying, and Jim's being modest right now too, because the centerfold of the book is actually a 4-page fold-out spread done by Jim Lee, featuring a lot of primary characters of the DC universe that has to be seen to be believed. So it's a beautiful piece. But Jim, since you cover your race, we're going to have one character show up in there that's a reimagining of a character that's well known. There's going to be a known established character that will be changed. There'll be new characters in there, and there will also be characters that will be returning to the DC universe in that book being snapshot. So there's a lot of fun stuff that's in there. Here's a question for you guys. How many of you guys enjoy Free Comic Book? I want to know why your hand isn't up. You don't like free comics? Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay. The guy behind you, you can put your hand up, right? Oh, you can. Okay. Good enough, good enough. I was just getting nervous because we can't give you guys free comics. We're really working about a year.
So here's the colored 4-page spread. So I'll translate it. That's why you want to imprint it. It's not taking pictures.
What's that?
Would Jefferson Pierce be
You mean this guy? No.
We can't answer. I'm not allowed to answer those questions. I'm just allowed to tease the questions.
Lightning and Thunder, will he be associated with them?
Actually, no. But there is a place for Jefferson Pierce coming pretty soon. Okay? There you go. All right. Sorry.
No, you just happened to find there was something you wouldn't tell.
Oh, come on. We're among friends, right? Yeah, there we go. See, it keeps you fun.
Jeff Johns is texting me to stop it. Stop it.
Stop him now.
And you know what? And see, this just shows you. 8 years ago, Bob would have lunged across the stage at me. He's lost a step.
No, because of 8 years of doing that, all I've done is hurt my ribs. All right, we also have, coming up around the time of Free Comic Day, we have a free preview of our graphic novel version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, it's an adaptation of the Steve Larson novel. I don't know if you guys have read it. But obviously there was an amazing movie that came out last year, and then obviously the original Swedish movies. We expect this to be a big book for us because we call it civilian appeal, people that aren't necessarily in comic books. We feel that this will do very well in the mass market and maybe convert people that are into the original books into graphic novel readers, comics readers, and this image is the cover by Lee and It's just amazing, and I think it, I've said in other interviews, I think this is probably one of the best adaptations of the visual look for the book in any media. He really knocked himself on, and It's actually, you know, it's coming out through the Vertigo imprint, and look for it this year.
All right. We also have for Free Comic Day a DC Nation issue that will have Green Lantern and Young Justice that is on the series, so look for that.
And again, if the purpose of Free Comic Book Day is to get people excited about comics and find out what's going on, it's important for us to have books out there for the younger audience, and we want to make sure that book really touches on the fans that are out there finding the show, and hopefully you can find our characters through the show. So that's a lot of fun.
And then at the end of May, we'll have a one-shot magazine, DC Nation special. It'll be focused on Green Lantern, but there'll be a lot of different things from other characters that you see on DC Nation. There'll be a pull-out poster, I think, so a lot of exclusive things inside. And a lineup of all the heroes and villains are going to be in there. So look for that at the end of May. If you visited our panel yesterday, we did a whole lot of before Watchmen background information for you. Dan, you want to get about my point there?
Okay, let's do this since we're having fun on a Sunday. I always say, no, actually, I say this at every show, and I really mean this in the sense that I love doing the panels on Sunday because you guys, you've probably been doing this for about 3 days now. Everybody here 3 days? 3 days? Yeah. You've been running around 3 days. We're at the end of the panel, you're at the end of the show. You're exhausted. You're probably broke. And if you're just in the area, you probably haven't eaten with every one of those lines as long as they have, unless you're just eating the taco places in the lobby here. So, for the most part, and what I really appreciate is the loyalty and support that you give us, and the fact that you guys come here on a Sunday panel. It's just really a lot of fun. And I always like to hear from the hardcore fans on this thing. I mean, how many people are looking forward to watching the books? Who's concerned about this thing? Anybody have a level of concern? Let's go. What's the concern? Okay. But hopefully not for
Sinister plan,
you know,
a really good story by really great creators to wear down your willpower. When's the last time Adam Hughes has drawn panel continuity work?
Yeah.
Don Cook, I mean, Jay Lee, how much work has he done for DC?
Yeah, and that's the fun of it all. And what you're saying, we knew that going in, and that's the reason why I wanted to hear you say that, because we knew that was going to do it. We knew that people were going to be concerned. We knew people were going to have an issue with it in some ways. And the only way we could go out there and disprove that and entertain, which is what this is all about, is to assemble the best teams possible. And when you look at those books, and when you start to see the books come out, I'm hoping that any sort of concern that you have will be gone, because realistically, we get more excited with every page that comes in. We get more excited when we see it, and we know that we've made a good choice because we have that advanced knowledge of what's coming our way. But those books are coming out in June. You get 4 number ones in June, you get 1 number one in July, you get 2 more number ones in August, you get 1 Watchmen book a week. The books themselves are somewhere between 22 to 24 pages, except Darwin's first one's I think 28, and it runs about 30 pages overall of story. And every book has 2 issues, 2 pages of a Crimson Corsair, done by Len Wein and John Higgins. So we want to create the best package possible, with the best creators possible, with the hope that everybody enjoys this as much as they did the original material. Okay?
But we may use that as an advertising tagline. I'm going to reluctantly buy them and enjoy them.
Thank goodness we got the sales and marketing team here, and they're going to be co-opting it as well as possible. Well, wait, listen.
I mean, on the reputation about Hughes, though, I mean, are we going to see it finish? Are we going to see him finish the whole?
We are working to make sure that everybody finishes what they set out to do. We started it far enough in advance. I can tell you right now that every one of the first issues are half complete. Or more. There's a couple of finish full issues. We've got probably the first 3 to 4 scripts on every one of them. Adam is on a 4-part miniseries, and his book is the one that starts in August, so he has a little more lead time. So just to let you know, all these things, all those questions were asked in rooms, and everything was taken into consideration seriously. And the one thing we had to do is make sure that we meet that commitment of 1 book a week, and that's what we're going to do.
And Adam himself looks great too.
Yeah, it does.
And J.D. Jones, I mean, we're actually all on a sort of a shared website where everyone posts the work they're doing, and so you can click and see everything that everyone's penciled or scripted and inked, and you're seeing the books come alive, and it's fantastic. I mean, the stuff that Jay Lee is doing, is it looks like a children's book that's been illustrated, very atypical kind of storytelling and panel layouts. And I don't know if this helps or hurts it, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rufus and Gallant from Highlight. It looks a lot like that. It's cool. It looks really cool. So
That's another cool quote.
Yeah. I love Rufus and Gallant. It was.
What's that website?
www.notforyou.com.
It basically crashes computers.
I don't know. I should have gotten there. I just it was very influential.
And the only thing strange about it is the editors on the books are Mark Chirillo and Will Dennis, and they came to me and said they wanted one of the co-publishers to do variant covers, and I said, I don't really sketch that well, you know? So I said, I can do it. But I guess they decided that Jim's stuff would be better than whatever I came up with. How do you feel about this cover, guys? You think that he could have been?
Yeah, it's Night Owl, and the feeling I wanted to create was that, well, in every book would be a variant edition, and this is just a pencil, so it's going to be by Scott Williams and colored by Alex Sinclair. And with the lines behind it, it looks like a police lineup. So I don't know if we're going to actually put the numbers there, the height chart, or just keep it more subtle like that. But the idea is that it speaks to the vigilante quality of these characters and how they're perceived by society and government, and allows me to sort of showcase one character per book, which is a lot easier than showcasing 6 characters per book on a cover. And so at the end of the day, with this, I actually started with a more sort of bombastic kind of superhero-ish quality to the structure, and I dialed it back. I brought back the chest, sort of the hump that he had, and just really brought back some of the anatomy and shrunk down some of the shoulders, and try to make it look a little more naturalistic than what I normally do in the spirit of the original graphic novel take. But obviously, it's still very different. But at the end of the day, I think the best stuff is that's referential or influenced by the past, but it's uniquely the creator's take on it. So that's my take on it.
And what I'm most interested in, honestly, guys, when I looked at this and he said he was doing a lineup effect, he said he was going to do an oversized Dr. Manhattan.
It's a fold up.
I'm just trying to figure what's going to be in the center of the picture when we get to the Dr. Manhattan cover.
Very huge ankles.
Oh, it's gonna be, that's our pull quote for now, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Adam, for taking us away to something else. This is the first of the collected editions of the New 52 series. It will be coming out on May 2nd, 5/2. Yeah, sure, it's just a coincidence. And collecting Justice League, the first story arc. Jim, are you looking forward to this big hardcover book?
I am, indeed. In an earlier panel, there's a guy that was spotlight. He said I screwed up on Wonder Woman's heel. I guess on one page she has heels. Oh yeah. So on one panel, she has heels, and 3 pages later she doesn't. And we didn't correct that. But there are actually a lot of other corrections we made. So this edition is different from the 6 issues you got. For instance, you look at issue 6. I think Green Lantern has white boots, and so all that stuff was changed and incorporated. So to me, this is like the ultimate collection of the first 6 issues. And then I think there's even stuff in the back.
You mean like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly like that. So a lot of the stuff, other parts of DC Entertainment, they take these designs and then do these awesome sort of documents that spotlight all the costume changes so that people can draw them in other books and make it easier for me to draw them the same in every book, even though I fail. But Cyborg is one that, to me, his armor is alive. It changes shape as he moves, so it's always different from panel to panel, intentionally so. But that is his default look, and so all that stuff is incorporated in the back of the hardcover.
All right, over in DCU Presents number 8. Dan, what are you looking at here, man?
I'm looking at Challenges the Unknown. Okay, first things first. Do I have any O.M.A.C fans here? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Adam's people
a bet about it. This is a chance to have an opportunity to work on challenges. I really like the eclectic characters in the DC universe. Characters like O.M.A.C and the Challenges Unknown. And when we decided to do a little reinvention of challenges, we decided to do it as a reality TV show. I'm having a lot of fun with it. You know, we don't get the same sales push as Justice League does, or the level of attention from sales and marketing. But I still feel that it's an important book to the DCU. You know, no matter what position I hold in the company, and the fact that that I'm in their offices every day, asking, begging, and buying them lunch, and I might get a house ad just once, just one damn house ad, Bob. So basically, this is their way to placate me, putting it up on a panel on a Sunday afternoon after a long convention. But thank you, everybody, for supporting it.
That's what that lunch was for?
Sorry.
All right, Smallville. A lot of you were fans of Smallville for the 10 seasons that was on air on the WCW. And as you may have heard, we're doing season 11 stories. We're doing them as digital first, 10-page sections, and then we're putting them into comic form. This is the cover for number 2. Jim, are you working with the guys on those?
Yeah.
So you like the digital first idea?
So the digital first, it's a little departure for us. These are stories that come out, obviously, as implied by digital first. They come out before the print edition, and there's a couple reasons why we decided to undertake this. One of the things that, obviously, the digital landscape, the digital business is not fully formed yet, and there's all these different price points that comics are sold at. And a lot of people are used to buying digital content at a 99-cent price point. And to me, the digital first content is not something that can be necessarily packaged and sold in a print format very well. Typically, if you were going to have a short story that's 8 or 10 pages long for 99 cents, it's just going to be thinner and it's not going to really sit on the shelf very well. It's going to tend to fold over, it's going to have pages in it. And we knew that if we went out at 99-cent price point, we could maybe get people that were just used to buying things at 99 cents, and tie it to things that the civilian audience, people that weren't necessarily hardcore consumers or hardcore comic consumers might be interested in. Things like Batman Beyond, which had a very successful cartoon show back in the day. Yes, and Smallville, which had a very successful 10 seasons. We felt that, hey, we can experiment with the digital format and do something that might intrigue people that aren't necessarily, again, your diehard comic book consumers. And so we went out there and we did this, and to our delight, we found that they sold very well, as you would imagine, but also that when we repackaged them and put them out in print format at a higher price point in a more typical comic book size package, the sales were in line with what they were selling before we decided to do digital first. So we're really seeing that there are, when we go out to the digital consumer, it's not necessarily the same consumers that are going to comic shops and buying comics every Wednesday. So, but for this to succeed, it really needs to tie into things that have mass market awareness. So obviously with Smallville being canceled, we have this idea of adding another season on top of it. Brian K. Miller is the writer, and Kat Stagg is doing some of the cover images, and it's really cool. Oh, we're already up to, so we've skipped Batman Beyond. By
Batman Beyond.
And Norm Brayfogle, who's a perennial great Batman artist. And then Batman Arkham on Minge. Derek Freakdorf is how I pronounce his name, and that is, these are digital shorts that basically spotlight a lot of the villains that you saw in Arkham City, and it kind of shows how they went from Arkham Asylum, from that time period, from the end of Arkham Asylum to the beginning of Arkham City, and allows us to really kind of showcase characters like Catwoman and Two-Face, and how they ended up showing up in the game. So we're very happy with how they've done, and we're going to continue to experiment with the digital format as the consumers tell us what they want out of these kinds of things.
And as Jim mentioned, the Batman Beyond Unlimited is done as well in print as we expected. In fact, it's really done a bit better because we sold out at retail pretty much the first day, so we're going back for a second printing on number 1. All right. Moving on to American Vampire.
Have people been following the American Vampire series from Scott Snyder? And we've been really excited about what's been going on with that series. And the good thing about American Vampire, it ties into the Court of Owls story. No, just kidding. Wouldn't that be cool though? Batman versus American Vampire? I gotta be excited about that. But no, I mean, this book actually doesn't need that level of support. I mean, Scott's been doing some great work for DC Comics on the Batman side, but also the American Vampire side. And Swamp Thing, I can't even say that enough. For me personally, I was a huge Swamp Thing fan. To see that level of reaction to the new series out there, and Scott's been just taking charge. But this is one of these. This book is one of the first things he did at DC with American Vampire. It's a labor of love. We're getting a chance to see him expand that world with this miniseries too. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is going to be a new hardcover coming from Vertigo, written by Anthony Bourdain, of No Reservations. And actually, it's you know what? Because there's somebody in this room right now in our marketing department who understands this book so clearly. I'm going to have Mr. John Cunningham, our Vice President of Marketing, stand for a second and tell everybody what this book is about.
I read this, I don't know.
Say that.
They haven't delivered it yet. Now, this is Red Harvest meets Blade Runner in a sushi bar.
There you go. So if you're a Red Harvest fan, Blade Runner fan, or ever like sushi, you're going to love this
And because we are 3 imprints, 3 brands wide, we'd like to point out Mad Magazine. And we're doing a special Mad Presents Batman issue coming up. Coincidentally, a few weeks before the new Batman movie. It's just a coincidence, the Mad guys assure me. And they would never do anything that would get any of us in trouble with the filmmakers or anybody else. And they swore that to me, and then they went to lunch with Dan. One thing about Mad to keep in mind is that they have a blog on their site called The Idiotical, and they feature the underreported features of the new iPad is up there right now.
And by the way, that is not autobiographical, in case anybody was wondering.
We got a lot of attention recently for the Mad Ass Who Said It, Mitt Romney or Mr. Burns feature on The Idiotical. I defy you to actually get that without any mistakes on that. And that is where we also have our campaign, the We Can Be Heroes campaign. Jim?
Sure. This is an initiative we announced in January, and it's a partnership between Warner Brothers, our parent company, and DC Entertainment, and it really focuses on the crisis in the Horn of Africa. And look, I'll admit, I was as ignorant of the issue as probably a lot of you guys are today. It's something that we kind of hear off and on over the years, and it doesn't have necessarily the same sort of sex appeal as like the Comey campaign or some of the other things that are really kind of gaining attention. But it is a very serious problem, and that area has always been kind of stricken with drought and famine and war, and so it's really focused on countries like Kenya and Somalia and Ethiopia. And basically the United Nations has declared famine there. It's the first time in 21 years that has happened. There are about 13 million people. That's a huge number, 13 million people that are in peril. And so Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment have partnered together, obviously with the Justice League, to create awareness for this problem and to raise about $2 million over 2 years for 3 carefully vetted charities over there. And at this show, we instituted a way for you guys to all be able to chip in and help out by texting the word heroes to 80888. And DC Entertainment will match a $10 contribution 100%. And it's something that you will hear more of as we go forward. Obviously, we're actually selling shirts and iPhone cases and other merchandise that have the We Can Be Heroes branding on it, and 50% of those revenues goes towards the fund as well, towards the cause. And you can go to wecanbeheroes.org to make different kinds of donations. So, I ask you guys to go check it out. It has a lot more information there. And if you see any of the clips or any of the reports on it, it's just heartbreaking. It's just people that are in a really dire situation. And, it's really the point of campaigns that we can all make a difference. And I urge you guys to check it out.
posters about anything DC, Vertigo, or Mad, we have a microphone set up in the middle of the room.
We answered all your questions. No questions. Then I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay, new 52 right now. Let's go through the list of who's liking what. Justice League fans over here. Justice League fans? Okay? Let me know what your favorite books are on this thing. You know what? Actually, let's do the other one we got. Hold 1 second here, guys. It was really interesting to us when we first pushed out the new 52. We were shocked. And I mean honestly about how many people got on board and actually bought all 52 books when they came out with number 1. How many guys bought all 52 with number 1? Well, first of all, we thank you over and over and over again. It's just an incredible support that we see from our fans on that base. How many people right now are reading just one of the new 52? Just one. Okay? You can raise your hand if you read more than one, too. We're going to put a drop your hands game. Okay. See, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got to read with the rules. Okay, so grade 1. Okay, if you're reading 5. Everybody reading 5? 5? Okay, 5. That's a nice crowd. Okay, how many people reading 10? 10. Okay, that's nice to see. 15. 15 of the new 52. Okay, how many goes? Let's go to 20. How many people still reading 20? Okay, that's great. I like you guys even more. Okay, anybody reading?
Probably new 22.
Yeah, new 22. Yeah, that's pretty good. How many people are reading 25? 25? Okay, whoever's got the hand up, stand up now. Let's see you stand up, first of all. Thank you. How many of you got going on to 30? Do we have anybody at 30? 30, 30, 30 going once, 30 going twice? Okay, 35, 35, do I hit 35? Oh, God, I love you guys. 40, 40, 40, I'm still fighting. 45. Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, golly gee whiz.
You guys should join us on stage. 45, 46, 47. Down to 2. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's awesome.
Thank you everybody for the level of support you've given us, especially from the launch. There was a lot of concern on our side, a lot of worry that we're going to be turning off more people than finding, but we always have faith in the project we put together, similar to what we're talking about with Watchmen, and the fact that we're going to continue to push and try to drive the best product forward. That's what this is all about. Questions?
Actually, for the gentleman who was 52 for 52, you probably don't have these exclusive retailer variants of Action 1 and Detective 1, so if you come up here, we'll add those to your new 52 collection.
I say, what happened in Black Hawk number 4, page 8?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Scott Macbeth, and my question I think is probably for you, Dan, which is there any thoughts of having theatrical releases of animated DC characters or groups of characters?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
And the reason I ask is that I saw the Superman, and I thought, this is just really top notch. I mean, it's really well written, the characters are well developed. I mean, it's the sort of thing that, maybe, I don't know, but conceivably could do well in the theater.
And you know what? Because those things are actually built for, for DVD releases. So I'm glad they put that level of quality and put that there. And actually, I'm actually happy that quality makes you think they should be feature films, because that means people are enjoying them and want to do more of them. Because I think it's a great program that really gets our characters out in a different way, and they get out faster than the film way, which is even better. So from that side, I'd rather see, personally, we're not involved in that, but I love the fact that we're released as many as they do on the schedule that they're on, because that just means more fun for all of us.
Did you check out the Superman versus Elite?
Yeah, that was the one I was referring to.
Oh, great, okay.
That was, I saw that and I thought,
Wow. Yeah,
very impressive. Could, kind of thing it could be.
Yeah, the Batman Year One, there's been a lot of good stuff lately. There's been a lot of great DVDs coming out from that group.
And did they tease something too in that? The Superman versus Elite?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't say it. So Dark Knight Returns is in that, which is awesome. That would be a must get.
Yeah, after watching that, that's what, kind of spurred the idea that, hey, maybe, people would like that in the theater.
Sure.
Okay.
Love the New 52, it's awesome. I just want to thank you guys for the continuing focus on diversity, which I think is great, the more the better. This is a question for Jim, actually. It was the new Superman costume, being a lifelong Superman fan, was a little hard for me to take at first. Now I'm used to it, I like it, you draw it great. You draw it beautifully, and I'm kind of, I enjoy the way you draw it in Justice League. I'm wondering when you mentioned in the cyborg shot that you kind of have like there's sketches of how artists should draw costumes or at least reference them.
Right.
The way you draw the Superman costume is a lot different, I feel, than it's been drawn in other books per se, where it's more of an armored feel. Is your vision more of a sleeker feel versus the armored feel, or is that just interpreted by artists different ways?
It's one of the things I didn't talk about leading up to the New 52 because the origin of the suit was supposed to be kept under wraps on as a story point. But it's Kryptonian in origin, so to me, I always thought it was more of something that was otherworldly. So it's not necessarily has a one-to-one translation to a material that you can find on Earth. But I always kind of perceived it as kind of like chitinous armor that you see on like beetles that had kind of a shimmer to it. So it might look kind of armor-like, but it's not. I mean, it's not meant to be. So. But I think a lot of stuff you're talking about, the inconsistencies, it will just work itself out naturally over time because you're talking about 52 books with how many different creators, 52 times 3 books, like 156, and add in the editors and assistant editors, and that's a couple hundred people, several hundred people you're trying to get on board with new stuff, and it was just, even beyond the costume thing, elements, we wanted the characters to look younger, so everyone was kind of doing this typical granite-jawed, older version of Superman, and it was just a very hard thing to overcome these sort of inherent, interpretations of the characters that we all hold in our head. And so I think just over time we'll see it sort of better interpreted and incorporated throughout the line. But it is a thing that we're constantly working on, reminding all the talent and the editors, this is the approach, this is what we want to do with the relaunch. And it is something that has to be continually pushed forward. People tend to kind of revert back to the norm, to what they're used to. And we're really trying to push the creative direction and keep pushing it. And that's why when we start seeing other designs for things on Earth 2 and the next wave of 52, we're really taking what we learned from the launch of the new 52 and pushing ourselves to keep doing something maybe a little different than what existed.
You should just draw all the Superman books.
I wish I could draw it more.
And then I just want to
just in general, I just wish I could do that.
And just a plug for the Action Comics Superman costume, the original one when he debuted 5 years ago, it's so cool. And I know that he's now moved on to the new armor. If there's any way that could eventually be Superboy's costume or something to keep it around, it's just a plug for it. It's really cool.
Okay, thanks.
And you can have an Action Comics #1 retailer variant. Launch.
Okay, let's do that copy.
Hey guys, how's it going? I was at San Diego last year, and you guys had like 3 questions in a row asking if you guys were going to lower the price point from $1.99 to 99 cents digitally. And I kept checking up monthly, and you guys were running sales, and you really listened to the fans, and that's really admirable. My question is, as a gift about a couple months ago, someone got me the Marvel Digital Unlimited plan, and from there I've been reading a lot of comics that I wouldn't have picked up, and sometimes if I like them, I'll buy them in print. I was wondering if you guys were ever considering doing something like that, because it is a really, really good program that I think would help benefit you guys.
That's that's a browser-based experience, right?
Yeah, it is. You don't need to have an iPad for it, so.
Yeah, really we've been just focusing on key partners. So Comixology is one and Amazon's the other. And every time you go to a different iteration, a different platform, a different way of experiencing it, you got to create this technology and software. We just haven't really seen. I don't know if the all-you-can-eat kind of buffet is necessarily the way to go for the business model. So we've been really more experimenting with different price points through Comixology rather than doing the all-you-can-eat. But it's one of those weird things. I don't know how many people have adopted that, but our research and anecdotal research also has pointed to the fact that not many people do that all-you-can-eat buffet because of the fact that it's limited to a browser-based window. It's
Flash. Yeah, it's Flash.
So there's a lot of inherent problems if you're trying to read on your iPad, things like that. So cool.
All right, right on. Thanks.
Hi, I'm a big fan of John Constantine and Helplight Comics. And with the success of TV shows like The Walking Dead and things like that. Are there any plans to bring any sort of Hellblazer or Vertigo-based titles to TV?
Well, you know, we're really in charge of the publishing efforts and the digital publishing efforts. So that kind of stuff falls more in the realm of Jeff Johns. So he's not here. We hate to speak, you know, on his behalf. But I think they're always looking for the best venue for any adaptation of our characters, whether it's games, video games, TV, or movies. There's a lot of exciting stuff on his plate. A lot of it that hasn't been announced, but you know, stay tuned.
Yeah, but also, you know what, we're such fans of the John Constantine character. That's why we kept the Hellblazer comic going with Vertigo, but still have him appear in the DCU. He's the only character that's doing that. Because we knew we had a real strong fan base with the Hellblazer book. We didn't want to lose that, but we also wanted to find a way to pull him back into the DCU and build off of the other characters that we have going on. So, trying to tell as many stories as possible.
Thank you very much.
But for asking that Vertigo question, we have a copy of the upcoming Flex Metallo hardcover by Grant Morrison and Frank White.
Dang. Who loves DC now? This guy.
Let's go.
First of all, I love the new 52 with the Barry Allen Flash run, but as a ginger, I do really miss Wally West. So.
Which one's Wally West again?
The ginger. That hurts.
Oh, good.
But I want to know, like, if there's a Flash movie in the future, will Wally West be part of that? And yesterday I worked with Mark Wade on my Flash character building and audition, and I was wondering if you'd like to see what he coached me into.
Flash what?
That sounds like something we do after the panel.
That sounds like something I don't want to be part of.
Right now, I mean, you know, again, as we said before, we're really focused on the publishing side. We do know there was a Wally West character, okay? But when we looked over the new 52 and what we want to do, we really focused primarily on what we were doing with Barry, and we're staying focused on that right now. We're not saying that Wally exists or doesn't exist. We're not saying he still has red hair or not, but we are saying... But we are saying that we're in the early stages of the new 52 and a lot can happen in the future, okay? It's the new mellow Dan.
Hi. First, as a woman, I love Red Hood and the Outlaws, and I love Catwoman. Thank you for, like, flawed, fully formed, relatable characters. And you may not even be able to answer if Jeff Johns is not there. Another Valentine's Day has come and gone. Where is my next Star Valentine's Day special?
I'm going to answer that one. I'm really interested in doing something very crazy, extraordinary for Valentine's Day next year. Okay?
Are you going to propose? I laid it up to you. I was like, oh, I see it.
Yeah, it was floating in the air.
Yeah, it was gigantic. I could see the scenes. Yeah, okay.
Hi, Ralph Dibney. Is he coming back? And if not, will you consider it?
Does he have red hair? He does. A little bit, doesn't he? I see a trend.
That's it. We're doing a new book called The Gingers. Sorry. You know, Ralph and Sue and Ted and Wally and Donna and probably countless other characters that we haven't mentioned, but I'm sure you all have a special place for them. I mean that honestly. Everybody has a favorite that they haven't seen yet. And quite honestly, the best part of the new 52 is that it's all open. And that's the way it should be. And if we came out and we showed everything right at the start, then we'd have nothing to show, and then we'd be back in the same old world before. Which means that we have our backs against the wall full of characters and what they can know, what they can do. But if we can introduce them slowly, just the way that they were first introduced, with the proper fanfare, the proper promotion, we can build them up to be stronger characters than they've ever been before. And that's the goal of the new 52. We're constantly going to be replenishing books in the new 52. People ask, how long are you going to keep the new 52 on the titles? And I said, hopefully forever. Because they're always going to be new. There's always going to be something new happening there, so it should always feel like a new universe for somebody. Because every book should be something's first, and every character that people love should be in those books too, at some point. Okay?
Thank you.
So just keep buying all 52 every month, and you'll be looking for those appearances.
Get eBay before it shuts down.
Well, my question is, will, in the trade paperback, especially of the Justice League, will there be any of your pencil pages rendered in the back of the book? And is Keith Giffen going to be working on any new projects since O.M.A.C is over?
I'll get to the Keith side. On the Keith side, he's already working on writing another series, and he's going back to penciling on another series that I think people will be extraordinarily excited to see.
The first part, no, I mean, what we want to do with the rollout of the hardcovers is keep them pretty consistent in terms of format, and so there are no pencil pages. So it's the stuff that you saw in the books, and then the additional sketches of the characters themselves. And I don't know, I mean, it's somewhere maybe down the line the pencils will reveal. There are actually other pages of Justice League that were drawn by other artists to keep me in line in case I miss my deadline. I would love to package all that together because it's interesting how people interpret the same.
I always have faith, Jim. I always have faith.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's like, what are these pages?
They never do more than a half an issue ahead shadow.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a whole shadow book being developed, unbeknownst to me, to drop in. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
We were serious about keeping our schedules, guys, as you can probably tell.
And in 2014, look for Absolute Justice League Volume 1.
Hi guys, any update on multiversity?
It is, I think, 3 of the segments being drawn. It is somewhere going to be in the area, somewhere between, I think it's about an 8-part series right now. And we, because of the scope of what's going on, we want to make sure that we have enough issues we can before we roll it out. Hoping this year.
Awesome. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And since that was a Grant Morrison question, we have for you a copy of the Batman Incorporated upcoming hardcover edition. And we can remind you that Batman is movie is part of the new 52 coming up in the second way. That's it.
You know, we've been giving away first issues of the new 52 at the DC Group, so if you haven't swung by, ask somebody, and maybe it's pretty cool issues.
Yeah. And also, by the way, anybody who just came with Jim gets $1.
Pay it a minute. So, this question is for Jim, obviously. So, for the whole DC Nation, have you ever thought about doing an April Fool's Day prank since the Wildcat's now part of the universe? Just showing the old 90s cartoon for the whole hour?
So, no.
So I think that would be the best way to ever mess with anybody.
It's probably the best way to end up in court. Yeah, I mean, even though I created Wildcats with Brand Choi, I mean, that cartoon was done by another company called Nelvana, which was bought by another company, so they have the rights for that interpretation of the character. So it's completely independent of the nation. But
oh, damn.
Yeah.
So we got time for 2 more questions.
Hey guys, my question is about Legion of Superheroes animated series. You guys going to do like a box of that sometime soon? Because that was a really good series.
I know there's some DVDs on it. I'm really not sure what the plan is, but you know, again, we can't really speak for any of the animation teams, something like that. But I'm always hoping that they package up all the material because it's always great to have it out there and getting out in front of the fans.
Thank you.
Why did you change Superboy's powers to telepathy, or whatever it's called, instead of super strength?
Actually, it was always telepathy. You believe it or not, it was tactile telekinesis. Everybody right there? Am I right about that? What's that mean? I have no idea. But it's always the fact. And the fact of the matter is that he always had the telepathy powers, even when he was first introduced back in the 90s.
So it wasn't super strength?
It's the pretense of super. I'm really. This is going to sound geeky, but this is actually what it says in our little Bible. It's the pretense of super strength. It's actually the telekinesis that he's using that gives the illusion of super strength. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Yeah. Okay. So therefore, he doesn't ever really have the strength, but he's always using telekinesis to do his superpowers. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
How about deal with O.M.A.C Studios non-con for a computer-animated Teen Titans film co-produced by Weinstein Company?
Okay. Teen Titans animated film.
Computer animated feature film.
Well, you know what? I mean,
it would win the Oscar, right? Give the track record.
It's not one of the ones that's got to win an Oscar. You know what? We're always going to be silent. Do something with our books.
Be French.
Okay,
required.
last question, make it a good one.
I'll be real quick, more of a statement.
I like that. No,
I don't know
I
about
don't like the statement.
Yes, you are.
Okay, go ahead.
I know you guys are on the focusing side, but Dan, Jim, you guys are much closer to Jeff Johnson, Warner Bros. And Bruce than I am. I like Superman and Batman, but please, can we get some other direct-to-video animated heroes? I mean, I think Aquaman, Flash, Adam are long overdue. Secondly, with the Batman trilogy, if you guys are smart and you're listening to Marvel, you guys start laying the groundwork for a Justice League movie. Doesn't have to be right away. I think the biggest one will
We will pass that note on, sir, we promise.
I text him.
He's texting it.
All right. And you know what? It would be awesome to see a Justice League movie, of course. That would be awesome.
And also, guys, and I just want to thank everybody also, again, you know, we had an incredible year, honestly, and it only started last September. We spent a lot of time, we spent a lot of energy, and a lot of the early stages of the New 52 were actually taking place at WonderCon last year. We were meeting with a lot of talent, laying the groundwork for what became the New 52. In fact, that we were able to have the level of success, I think I said this before, I'll say it again, we owe it all to you. This was our pact to our fans. We listened to them over the years, listened to what was going on, and we decided to make a radical change in how we did comics to keep everybody who enjoys this medium still enjoying it. That's the reason behind the Before Watchmen, and hopefully for everything that we're reading from DC Comics coming down. But thank you all you guys for being here.
As Dan said, you're the ones that have been here and still come to see us on Sunday afternoon. We appreciate your hardcore enthusiasm. And by the way, to the members of the Justice League who are out of costume back there, don't think we don't recognize people when they're not in costumes.
Yeah.